One practice that people with IBM can identify with is risk assessment. Risk assessment is a systematic examination of our actions for the purpose of identifying the significant hazards, the risks of somebody being harmed, and deciding what further measures you must take to reduce the risk to an acceptable level. With inclusion body myositis, injury from falling is constantly on our minds. When it isn't, that's when chances of a fall increase dramatically. Hi, Jerry here again for my IB Myositis channel viewers, dedicated to people diagnosed with inclusion body myositis. I personally and recently experienced going through the procedure to obtain a new power chair via the Medicare route to continue my fall risk mitigation. This subject is often questioned by IBMers who are near that time in their IBM journey where the acceptance of using a power chair may be more tolerable than the results of potential serious fall injuries and a way to actually increase your mobility range. I've realized from many discussions with IBMers that the fear of the process is holding many back from starting the process. Coincidentally, I keep reading and hearing these same people describe their severe injuries caused by their unexpected falls. Minimizing falls and injuries was the major reason for me to accept the power chair years ago. In this episode, I will be reviewing the patient's responsibility up close and from 10,000 feet what your physician and power chair provider will be doing in order to secure a Medicare-funded power chair that meets your IBM needs. After purchasing 2 used power chairs from private sellers over the past 10 years, I recently went through the Medicare process, getting my new power chair delivered to me in early April 2020. If you've heard or think this is a difficult process, let me explain some of the basics to you to make you more familiar with the process, possibly making it a less stressful journey towards a new power chair for you. I had my new power chair in a little under 3 months. Our wheelchairs are classified as Power Mobility Devices, or PMDs, and are covered under the Medicare Part B benefit at the normal 80% reimbursement rate. Your supplemental insurance may pick up the part of the remaining balance. You've heard correct about Medicare not paying for the elevating seat in all cases, something that an IBMer definitely requires. Your supplemental insurance might pick up the elevating seat, but usually will follow the lead of Medicare to not pay for it. Later we'll discuss a few ideas on how to lessen the out-of-pocket seat elevator costs. A Medicare patient must meet all of these general coverage criteria to satisfy PMD medical necessity requirements for any power mobility device. 1. He or she has a mobility limitation that significantly impairs his or her ability to participate in any one or more mobility-related activities of daily living in customary locations in the home. 2. His or her mobility limitations cannot be sufficiently and safely resolved by using an appropriately fitted cane or walker. And 3. He or she does not have sufficient upper extremity function to self-propel an optimally configured manual wheelchair in the home to perform activities of daily living during a typical day. Let's break the subject down a bit and start talking about your first steps. Before starting your quest to obtain a new power chair through Medicare, you might gain time and decision-making efficiency by doing some research beforehand. There are several videos available on this Myositis channel that cover the basic designs that can be seen by watching episodes 7 and 8. I'll leave these links to these videos in the info section below your viewing screen. Additionally, there are many other videos available by searching for Quantum Edge or Permobile on YouTube. Next, you might want to walk around the inside of your living quarters with a tape measure, paper, and pencil to list every door opening and hallway width you plan on driving a power chair through. This step will help specify the width of chair selected later in this process, but might even be mentioned in your doctor's evaluation early on to help satisfy the question about your home's capability for power chair use. Because I attended my face-to-face evaluation already in a power chair, it was concluded that my home was accessible and no home evaluation was suggested. First-time power chair buyers may have to have a home inspection during the process. If you live in or near a large metropolitan area, the first step is making an appointment with an occupational therapist that specializes in mobility and seating evaluations. Although not mandatory, the inclusion of a therapist's report will greatly increase your chance of receiving the necessary equipment to address your needs. You will probably require a prescription referral from your primary care physician that includes the verbiage occupational therapist to evaluate and treat for postural seating and wheelchair. This is where you also start seeing medical billing codes starting to be heard or seen on some paperwork. G72.41 is a billable ICD code used to specify the diagnosis of inclusion body myositis, or IBM. Another billable code you'll see and is used is Z99.3, which is a billable code used to specify a medical diagnosis of a dependence on a wheelchair. My 8-page occupational therapist evaluation report was made available to my personal care physician for the secondary necessary stop on your power chair quest. I called the same day as my occupational therapist appointment and was lucky to get an appointment with my primary care physician only 2 days later. The question of which of my doctors should I ask to prescribe a power chair is often asked. IBMers may think that the neurologist or rheumatologist that diagnosed our IBM would be the logical choice, and that's what I originally thought. Wrong. Medicare wants a more overall and thorough synopsis of your health condition, so I had to switch my efforts to use my personal care physician. Your personal doctor should have, in your medical record, knowledge of all your medical history, including your IBM diagnosis. I gave my doctor a copy of my muscle biopsy report in case it wasn't in my records. When making the appointment, mention to the scheduler that you need a Medicare power chair assessment so that the length of the appointment is of the appropriate length, as it will take longer than a visit for a runny nose or the flu. Your doctor must provide documentation consisting of your medical history essential for supporting the medical necessity for a power chair in your home. A mandatory face-to-face evaluation must clearly document the patient's functional status with attention to conditions affecting the beneficiary's mobility and their ability to perform activities of daily living within the home. Most primary care physicians have completed many Medicare power chair requests, so just follow their leads and questions. 2 points of interest here. It's a well-known fact that Medicare won't approve a power chair based on your outdoor activities, so don't dwell on them. What helps get a powered wheelchair approved is a list of critical functions that can't be safely accomplished without one inside your home. Make a list of daily living activities you have inside your living space that are already impossible to accomplish because of your medical condition or are increasingly becoming more difficult for you to do. Present this list to your doctor for reference later when writing up your report. Don't think you can get a power chair prescription just by asking for one without a face-to-face appointment. Your physician must complete a specific 7-element referral and a medical interpretation regarding your power chair need. Your power chair provider must also have these specific steps completed per the book in order to get the order pre-approved. If the 7-element sheet isn't completed correctly, your power chair authorization request will be rejected. Here's 2 power chair features that, when included, will ultimately save you some out-of-pocket expense. Make sure your power chair will be ordered with a powered tilt-in space and powered leg rests. Body repositioning is important to reducing pressure sores, discomfort, and pain, resulting in a decreased quality of life with IBM. These features will get you the advanced electronics required for body repositioning, the same electronics as required by the elevating seat, and will reduce your out-of-pocket expense for the elevating seat. Make sure to explain the IBM plop when your upper body free falls onto the chair's seat, as your weak quadriceps and biceps are progressively diminishing. That discussion may make a difference what brand of chair is designed to stand up to such abuse and result in the least problems and downtime, and might affect their cushion recommendations. During your early assessments, the wheelchair posture specialist and your provider can also recommend other necessary options to support your body and limbs while you're sitting in your chair. In my case, my clinician recommended elbow support pads because when I was in the reclined position, my arm was not supported, and once I let go of the chair's joystick, I could not reach the joystick again to be able to readjust the backrest when I wanted to sit upright again. You will also have choices to make for what type of headrest and headrest mount will work for you, the type of foot plates, and so on. Sometime during your process, your power chair provider will ask you to sign a paper stating your intention to either rent the power chair or purchase it. In IBM situations, and I believe providing the assessment by an occupational therapist helps a lot, you can buy your power chair because it is especially made to fit you. I will cover the differences between renting and buying the chair in regards to warranty work performed in the next episode. Okay, we've talked about a lot of stuff so far. Let's do a quick review. Your responsibilities only include 3 major tasks. 1. Get a prescription from your doctor to schedule and have an appointment with a postural seating and wheelchair therapist. 2. Make and keep a Medicare power chair assessment appointment with your doctor. And 3. Fill out and submit the purchase or rental intention paper. Your therapist and doctor will do most of the work to qualify you for a new power chair. In the next episode, we'll discuss what follow-up during the process is recommended and why your follow-up is important. We'll also discuss your power chair's warranty based on whether you are buying or renting your chair. We'll discuss the day you are notified your request has been pre-approved by Medicare and what steps are recommended before your chair's order is placed with the manufacturer. So until next time, roll on, my IBM friends.